Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do, that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win at life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do, that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NiQ Comeback Cup. We're going to be hosting our grand finals right now between Team Xentrix Esports and Degree Esports. I believe actually Xentrix has just made an incredible run through the lower brackets, and they're now going to have a revenge match against Degree Esports. We're going to get into that right now after we do a bit of the map bans. So as you can see here, Xentrix did get knocked down by Degree in a best of one. But again, through the lower finals, or sorry, the lower bracket, they're having a pretty dominant run. I mean, a 1-0, 2-1, and a 2-0 just to absolutely crush the lower bracket. But now they're back again to face Degree Esports in a best of three.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what they are going to be bringing down to the table too. Because from what I heard, the members of Degree they have a lot of skilled players that could take the entire scene by storm. And in the grand finals, you don't really have any room for making mistakes. But at the same time, Xentrix, they pretty much came out of nowhere. They only lost a degree when it came down to their bracket run, and they fought through the lower brackets playing double the matches of degree. So they finally got a little bit of time to just get together, huddle up, and try to figure out exactly what they want to do up against degree. And they had that time to mentally prepare for this map ban now coming in. It seems as though the first two maps being banned out will be Ascent and Fracture, but Bind could still be on the table, which was originally a map that Degree won when it came down to the best of one that knocked the members of Zendrick down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They haven't yet picked their maps, so we will have to see if Xentrix wants to really engage Degree on that map where they just lost, or if they're confident that they can readjust and make a new strategy. Because a 7-13 loss is a pretty crushing defeat,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's gonna hurt quite a bit as well when it comes down to the morale. But at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that they shift away from that whole bind setup. But maybe if you're really confident in it, do you really want to get out of it? I don't think so. Just because the team beat you once doesn't mean they will always beat you again. Because counter strats are of course the thing, and it seems as though bind could just be a possible pickup.
Yeah, we still got two bands left, and the decider is still left unknown. So, I mean, it's a bit interesting though. Lotus and Haven, again, we're gonna have the two three-site maps. That's gonna be quite interesting. Very I guess you could say maps that are very reliant on attack side strategy and just
Yep.
moving around the map, getting that control. And also just the fact that like again, it's a three-site map, so a lot of teams that aren't really prepared for these things are gonna have a rough time trying to defend. But it's interesting seeing both these teams picking one map that's just heavy at this.
I completely agree. And when you think about how those two maps are normally played out, they're very similar. You need early A-long control on both particular maps. On Lotus, a little bit more than Haven because you want to control the avenues that they want to go to. And of course, the decider being picked up as Vine, not really
Ooh.
that big of a surprise, but Split getting banned out could just be a pretty bad take. But from what I have seen, a lot of teams just don't want to play the map of Split that much. Buying much more of a comfort pick because they have played it quite a bit more often. Plus, they know how the strategies work there. Pearl and Split being banned, understandable, but maybe the Pearl could have been their secret pickup where members of Degree just didn't want to go into bind.
Yeah, but I mean, leaving it for the decider, it seems like both these teams are going to be comfortable. And now we've got these sides, so defense is going to be excuse me, Lotus is gonna be our first map, and well, we're just gonna have to see. The players are getting ready, and the map should be starting real soon.
Kind of hoping to see maybe a double controller setup coming in from the members of Degree because personally, in my opinion, Lotus is one of those maps that really favors a double controller composition if you know how to play it well. We've seen teams like PaperX offer much more of a hyper aggressive double duelist composition where they just take aggressive space and they take the space in such a way that it augments their raw mechanical skill. But for other teams in general, replicating that playstyle have never really worked out, especially in the international level, where teams have found out, yeah, we have the raw mechanical skill, but the mentality and the mindset that you need to pull off such a playstyle is really difficult. Not every team can copy it. And by every team, I mean no team up till now has been able to copy what exactly PaperX can bring down to the table. So I'm expecting that double initiator or maybe a double controller composition playing much more better for control. And there's a chance for a duelist to get picked up on the sides of a Neon or maybe a Raze. Raze being the much more common pickup, with Neon being the much more comfort-based pick that we have seen teams like Loud pick up as well.
Yeah, and I think Team Foot in the European side actually sort of pioneered the Neon on this map
Yeah, that's true.
with that early A aggression with the stun bouncing it off the corner of the building and just being able to take so much control without needing to use a
True.
valuable breach stun or any other initiator utility. Having your duelist going first is also just something that is beneficial. I mean, you just don't need to use so much of your hard hitting util early on, and if you get pushed back, you don't really need to, really scrape things together and try to like scramble away. You can still pivot off of the fact that yeah, you do have probably both flashes or at least one flash and a stun. Just a lot of utility to work with. So we'll have to see though, because again, Lotus as you know, I would say it's a little bit attacker sided, but comps are just pretty different all around. It depends on which way you want to take it. Now we're gonna see some of the agents being picked.
Yep. The
Ooh.
agent selection looks to be a little bit more swayed, I believe. Sky getting picked up, not really that big of a surprise. Sky pretty much being the best initiator on every single map. If you want to go a solo initiator, smart. Double controller setup. The Omen gets picked up with the Raze. I would prefer maybe an Astra instead of that Omen, but Omen much more of a comfortable pickup that allows you to play a lot more aggressive. But on the other side, single controller, single duelist with a double sentinel composition, a Sage instead of a Chamber. This could just be a problem, I see.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at both sides, they're actually quite different in the way they want to approach things. I mean, I think Killjoy is a decent pick, but
Yep.
Sage is an interesting one
Yeah,
because
it's
even
a
though
bit
the
FD.
slows, like the slows can obviously help with the defensive pushes, but besides that, if your defense isn't pushing out too aggressively and they're just holding you, like they can do a lot with this double smokes and even the raise grenade, then you probably don't need to have a Sage. And it's not
Yep.
locked in just yet, so we'll see if there's a last minute change here.
I'm expecting a possible Chamber though, because if they wanted to go for a Sage, yeah, of course, you gotta pick up the Raze just as you said, because the utility just combines so well. But without a Raze, it just, I don't know how this is gonna go. The members of Xentrix, they're playing a very dangerous game when it comes down to the composition. One side has a lot of utility to play around with, while the other one relies purely on composition. Think about it like this: the members of Xentrix, they have utility that allows them to take gunfights. But that's the thing. How capable are you of taking those gunfights without losing your composure or messing up your util that it affects your other teammates? That's the problem. There's so many things that can mess you up if your team coordination is not on point.
Yeah, and again, just having one controller as opposed to a Viper, even though Viper did get nerfed, I mean, just
It's just
having
more of
that
a sentinel
extra,
now.
yeah, more of a sentinel, but even still, the fact that she has almost 20 seconds of smoke time that can just regenerate throughout the entire match is so pivotal when you want to, when your initial push doesn't really work out.
Yep. Very
Yeah, we're
slow
gonna have to
start.
see here.
Yep. See a pretty early aggression towards the side of C. Instead, they are playing completely different on that regard. A good chunk of damage being shown on towards the C long sideline, but the members of the defense, they're completely wrapping towards A. They have a read, but this read could just completely be wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing so passive. I almost, I mean, two of them still sort of standing towards the CT side and not really doing anything, just letting them have A control. And then the early rotate off of C kind of gives Degree a bit too much respect. Able to just walk up essentially.
Yeah, here with the stun, we do see the first initial bouts of damage already being given. Two teams already in motion, and now Here's where the real fights will be taken. This is a 4v5 situation, making a 4v4 already. The fights are taken, the trades are coming in beautifully. And the members of Degree, they're holding down strong. The race Nate comes out to take a little bit more control. 2v2 on the map, but still in the favor of the attackers. The HP advantage is still theirs. The spike going down, the post plant comes into play. So Xentrix, they have a pretty tough retake coming ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, Gus Yu, lower than 50% HP here, and Dragon was just so late to the rotate, and it had, you know, it's just forced to come from the CT side. Now this double swing isn't gonna come out, and Chewy kind of misses that. Molotov.
One enemy remaining.
Good.
29er. Oh, with the 4K.
It's truly an onliner.
Miss Molly or not, just getting 2 kills is all you need really to win the pistol.
There's a reason why his name is the onliner. That guy was just on fire. Point and click adventure game for him. 0-1 for the side of Degree. Pretty strong start. The pistol round was a good foothold for the members of Degree, but then again, I have no idea what Xentrix was trying to employ. Early aggression towards C, and then they just gave it up. A little bit questionable, don't you think so?
Yeah, just a bit. This is not the start you want to see for an attack half on Lotus, especially. You can't let these the attackers just sort of take all this space for free. And you know, Xentrix thought they might have had a read trying to push into A, and actually manages to pick up Unknown on the flank there. Pretty big kill. Now only 3 players on the C site. You can see Xentrix sort of adopting the death ball style with their lower buy, just trying to like group up and just take fights together, hoping to get maybe a trade here and there. The door opens up. Oh, and Ashuri in a dangerous position. Oh, he just gets mobbed by 5 people. Does take 1 down with him.
Such a good strategy to go for too. Think about it like this here. Now that they have the man advantage, they can just easily run on down and take these fights as much as they possibly want. And at the end of the day, they are not trying to win out the round pretty much. If they win the round, that's just secondary. No real time on the slow. Can't really win this, but still a couple holding guns. They're holding it down, and that's perfect. They took down all the guns. Only 1 attacker went alive, and this eco round was completely successful for the defense.
Yeah, and that's only a Spectre and full shields against what was mostly just a combination of sheriffs and ghosts.
True. This is just one of those rounds that really showcases a team's prowess at the end of the day. When your defense is that strong and that potent that you're able to coordinate properly as a 5-man's death ball and then take away 4 weapons from your opposition when it comes down to their buy round, you force them onto an eco. This is what the defenders wanted, and they got what they were looking for.
Now we're going to see a little bit of aggression coming towards B and C with that Degree. Damage is exchanged, but Dragon a bit on the lower side. Lotus get broken here, and the dog goes in just to scan. Now stun does go out. Looks like Sliver will get away with his life.
It's very slow, but look at the control being demanded by the Neon.
Yeah, I mean, they've completely taken B main, and Neon is just solo holding A.
They know it's a C stack, and the fight it seems to be imminent. The members of Degree, they're running into a stack, and in just maybe like what 20 seconds, they could be going for the hit. And here comes the flashes, here comes the smoke. The side is now being run into.
Showstopper manages to find Dragon. That's a huge hit now. Only 2 people on the side of Xentrix just holding down the site, fighting for their lives against the
30 seconds left.
running in. Trades come flying out.
Take this.
Xentrix in 2v4 now make that a 2v3.
Last player standing.
Just kind of flying in to make a play, and oh, that is not the bonus you want to lose.
How did they win this on the weaker buys?
And I am
I think the retake effort was just a bit disjointed there. Sliver just kind of running out before any of the util really, you know, is available.
Yeah. That was a pretty rough take. You just needed to slow it down a little bit. Take your time for these retakes. You could see that the members on C just They were stacking the site together properly. It was understandable, but when you know the attackers are coming towards you, normally you try to util bomb them a little bit later. Let them use all of their utility, then slowly use yours as they're trying to enter into the site. You need to wait whenever you're on a 3-man stack. If you use your utility a little bit too early, they're not going to be taking any fights. But Pow seems to be catching out Silver, who was a little bit too overly aggressive. And the C side completely empty and ripe for the picking for the members of Degree. There's no one there to watch anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm liking what Xentrix is doing on the other lanes of the map, but they're just leaving C a little bit too open. I mean, it is one of the easier sides to attack,
Planted.
but even still, there needs to be some level of control here.
Okay.
That's actually twice now that they've been able to isolate the Dunes player and just absolutely gank him, but
Right there.
not having that control over side is going to be rough. I mean, you've got 2 players holding towards Waterfall. This is going to be pretty rough retake.
It's just a tough spot altogether. One by one, their bodies are just going to keep on dropping. And fair, it's not really much that you can do. Their level of control, this is what I don't really understand here, they have so much control over B, over A, and at the end of the day, that level of control just doesn't mean anything unless you're able to come together as a squad and then go for the retake on the side that is weaker. The members of Degree, they've already found out that, hey, C side is very weak. We can just run in for one particular reason. Why is the Killjoy not playing towards C?
Yeah,
I think you've noticed that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sage, ideally you put Sage somewhere on A or even B just to hold the aggressive push, but I mean, solo Sage on C is kind of rough against like a Neon.
It's impossible.
Not sorry, a Neon, sorry, a Raze. You could just fly through. You kind of need the Killjoy to put those mollies in places that the Raze just kind of drop down on.
Mm-hmm. And maybe even having the Sage on rotation from B is an optimum choice, because normally if you're going to play Sage on this map, you either play towards A where you want a util combo and take over A control, where when you have A control, you just place the breach and the Neon there, and then you just walk away, run towards C, run towards B, and hold down the sides from there as a sentinel that you're supposed to. You get back up where it's supposed to go. The Sage is not really playing rotation, she's anchoring a site.
Exactly. I mean, and in combination with just your util, Sage is probably your strongest defender, just being able to hold wherever she goes and not knowing where that slow is going to come from. Now we're going to see a fast take onto B main here. And Ferrets to defend. They'll slow down a little bit. Rotates to come out, and now Degree is reconsidering their options, probably looking towards C again. I mean, nobody's made any noise, so they might feel a little bit comfortable here.
Looking at the position that the Sage is in, Silver, what do you have up cooking for us? Because that's a pretty passive spot. And both of the Sentinels holding from the other sides of the map. There are so many gamble stacks being played by the members of Xentrix. I don't know how much I like this, because they're just constantly going for C. Any sort of a stack that was being played out by the members of Xentrix just really is not working out. And the Viper just got another kill. That's your Neon down, and you don't have a faster entry onto the site anymore. And those Neon stuns are your primary way of even taking space. How will the defenders run this down even? They do not have destructible utility. They have nothing lethal to force into a site.
Degree is just like eating up all this space. Wait, am I seeing that right? That's a 4-man push into C. Into C Link. They've completely got control of the entire map, basically. Look at this.
That's a power position. If you were there, none of the defenders can do anything. Even if you're in CT, you run into the site, you need to clear Waterfall, right? Waterfall is the most dangerous position when it comes down to the C side, and this level of control could just be good. A save seems to be coming in, but this save, I don't know how much this is gonna help you with 3 members trying to hunt you down.
Enemy remaining.
Okay. Sliver. Only 4 bullets. Oh, isn't able to find the 5th, but plan was kind of doomed from the start. You can't just be so passive, especially on a low buy. You just gotta go for it. I mean, yeah, 4 kills is gonna hurt the economy somewhat, but if you let the other team win, the economy is gonna snowball regardless, right?
Looking at their bank, they're really happy. So much
Yeah.
money to work with. Yeah, they have enough buys to last them pretty much the entire half. They're able to win this one too. That win streak bonus is already added up to its maximum. For the members of Xentrix, what do you have as an answer? Seems to be a pretty fast A rush, and that A rush looks to be bearing a little bit of fruit where they have taken a lot of aggressive control, but the Sage needs to rotate. They can't stay here. The C side, it's already gonna be taken once again. The C is pretty much the X factor here. What is happening, Xia?
It's almost like they're just daring the other team to just keep going. Like we'll keep going C until you can find a way to stop it. You know, that's been the plan so far for 5 rounds now. And I mean, it's working. They've already lost 2. Kind of come from A. In Degree, their solution is, I mean, comprehensive. If they're gonna get flanked, the Doom players don't get ganked all the time. You just take the space on TV and you don't have to take so many risky fights. Look at that clean win. Pretty clean win, at least.
Yeah. It's just round after round, we are witnessing the players just fall into that mindset like, oh, we're playing aggressive on A. That's how you're supposed to play the map of Lotus, right? What happened to C?
Yeah, I mean, especially considering that C is also really easy to take. I mean, if you consider the distance from the barrier to the actual bomb site itself, that's like 5 meters. Once you're in front of the dune, basically, you already have C. But we are seeing Xentrix take a bit of a different stance here, now exploring towards dune, and also pressuring B as well. This could be the fight they need. Now Dust Q in a very forward position. Actually find the first kill on A. The lurk is gone. Now 4 players just kind of milling towards the middle of the map here. Sliver not able to find that shot just yet. Does find it eventually.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, and the
Spike
trades
down.
not
Attacker
coming
spawn.
in.
Nice.
First clean round from Xentrix.
Oh, it's beautiful. The rotations were perfect. The fights that they were taking were isolated, and they just corralled the members of Degree into a corner. That is how you condition your opponents, but I understand what they were going for. They wanted to condition them to go C all the time, but to lose like 6 rounds worth of conditioning is just a little bit too much, maybe. 1 or 2 is fine. But at the bare minimum, hey, they were able to answer back. What is the proper answer this time coming in from the members of Degree? They know that they've been going C constantly, and they're still going to go for the C hit, but now with 4 people with a lot more utility to take this fight. And with this take already coming in, the Neon pretty much in 4 times situation.
Last forever. Look at that. Dust Q just holding down the
Last
mound.
player standing. 1 down.
He's just
Oh,
going.
and eventually finds a trade. Now 2v1, very doable right now. But Dragon is on the other side of the map, and the sound. I mean, he knows he's got to be far. It's a 1v1. Binjin on his own. Low HP. The ult is invested.
That's it. The defenders, they just have another read, but they did invest a Rolling Thunder into a single player, so that could be an issue, that could not, but for the attackers, they need a completely different strategy. Those fast C hits are just not working because of how aggressively the members of Xentrix are now going out for them. Another pause has been taken, and now Degree, they're left scratching their heads just a little bit here because they do have a Killjoy lockdown to play around with. So there is a chance they could be heading towards B or another possible C take.
It's interesting you say that as well, because Degree has mostly left A completely untouched up until this point. I mean, maybe a few lurks here and there, a bit of pressure, but really no attempt at actually hitting the A site. It's mostly just been these B and C pressures. You see a common strategy like this actually being employed by Loud. They love to just play around C and B, because if they fail at one side, they can always just hit the door and go to the other side. But I think Xentrix are now catching on to that and are putting more pressure on the other sides of the map and letting Killjoy anchor A. And I mean, B is not too much of a threat because you can just chuck a bunch of slows and smokes in there.
Yep.
We're gonna see the same thing I think from Xentrix, just pressuring C now.
I think it's also because of the double controller composition that they prefer to go to the C side. The A side doesn't really favor the double controller as much because, yeah, you have the utility, but if you're not really comfortable with it, it's not going to be that good. A Sage lineup coming in from Sliver.
Little
Where
slow
does
lineup.
where
I
does
think
it
that's
land?
the
Even?
entrance of C main right there to
Possibly.
reinforce the one-way.
There.
Look at that level of control. They've already taken it, but on towards the A side, they've taken over lobby. But the real question is, how long do they want to wait before they want to go for this take? The A side is now completely empty, but with the Killjoy being there, that's a lot of time being wasted. The Killjoy is going to slow down this attack to a crawl, allowing the defenders to go in for proper rotations.
Yeah, one molly on the choke, one on the default plant spot, and an alarm bot just to cover the stairs push. Dog goes out. I think it's destroyed. A little bit of delay, but it looks like Degree
Second.
pretty comfortable control.
You should run.
Oh, but how? Overstepping it just a little bit there.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Oh, but okay.
That's just a casual meltdown of players. What just happened? Like, I was
just heard
watching
5
the
bursts
mini
and the round was over. It said,
Yeah, exactly. I'm here looking at the mini map, and I was just like, okay, this retake's gonna happen. Slow and steady wins the race, right? 2 seconds into the round, the spike hasn't even gone down. It's just at the 3-second margin for the spike to go down, and already everyone's dead. And I'm here scratching my head like, what just happened to the defense? Weren't you guys just coming together? And 2 seconds later, Pao just comes around the corner with an Into the Shadows in towards B, and he just takes over the entire fight. And now it seems to be a very impressive take!
Roll the hurt, the flash comes out. Oh, just shoot, just nothing.
You don't want to be here.
Drake comes out eventually, but that's a lot of damage. And Sliver is very low.
Yeah. That's not really a fight that you want to take there, Sliver. Not in the way that you were going for. C-side finally being controlled by the Killjoy, but doesn't really have a lot of utility to play around with. Needs to play safe because of the Killjoy lockdown, and now it's just a waiting game for all of the players to come in for a 4v4 retake.
Spike
Dragon
planted.
maybe playing it a little bit too safe. I mean, he does have a Guardian. That could have been a spammable position on safe with a high penetration. I mean, I thought that was actually what he was going to do, because you see a lot of teams usually use an Odin or even an Ares and just playing back CT so that the enemy can't plant. But just kind of let him onto side. Now the Viper spits down and they have mess to clear out. Ferrets does clear out unknown. Oh. But onliner.
Oh no!
Just gets barrel stuck.
Last player standing.
Oh. Bit of a.
What?
Okay. Kind of just staring at Dragon there.
That looked like a recreation of the Spider-Man meme. What just...
Just looking at him like, oh.
Yeah,
How
how about you?
The attack just gave the defenders an off right there.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no way that in the Viper Spit, Dragon just casually walked between 2 players and got all the kills and pretty much lived to tell the tale. Communication could have been off by the members of Degree, but 3 rounds still going in the favor of the members of Xentrix. They're going to be happy about this. Finally, they have a little bit of an economy to play around with. Those last couple of rounds, they had the roughest of buys here. And finally, they have a good operator to pick up and play with. But then again, they're aggressing towards the opposite side of the map, but at the bare minimum, Dragon is towards C, so he can slow down these pushes to a crawl.
Paint shells go out. That's quite a bit of utility, actually. I mean, a flash and paint shells, it's a lot of your entry utility. And now it's going to be a B crunch. Trade comes out. Sliver finds one. And then Dog manages to take out Sliver while he's low HP. And Dragon gets spammed through the smoke. Ferrets.
I've got your
Extremely
trail.
low HP right now. As the Seekers kind of get stuck on the door there.
That's information, though, at the bare minimum. Ferret's at 5 HP. I don't think they're gonna take this retake. 5 HP for them. They just should save this operator at the bare minimum. It's better off to go for this on the last round than go in for a fight. They want to
Yeah,
see if they can get a couple
retake
of
is a bit
kills.
labored here. I mean, too much respect being given. That's already what 20
What
seconds
happened?
being burned, and one Molotov is still left. The Viper just kind of waiting, and I don't think this is gonna be enough time. I mean, that's so much burn damage right there.
Yep.
Last player
Gonna
standing.
manage to find ferrets there, and the random destroy out the Gus Q.
Yeah, that's just tough.
Last round.
Not
before
gonna
the
live
switch.
through that one. Chewy doesn't get taken down by the spike, but at the end of the day, looking at their money, they have more than enough to go in for the last round. Optimally, they should have just
Need a drop.
saved that operator and hoped
I'm
for
out,
maybe 8-4
Need a drop.
instead. Because now they don't have any money to go in for proper buys. A couple of them going in for half shields, one being forced onto a stinger, and one onto
Gus
a
Q does
Molotov.
have the overdrive. I mean, this could be the game changer.
Oh, right,
A
true.
lot of people stacked towards A site, and if they can just find Viper or Sky here, that's gonna be a huge amount of utility loss for Degree. And that does come through, blinded. Stun goes out to Trey, but Shui's so good on follow-up.
He gets away
He
with
can't
two.
find another. On his lonesome, defend
Last
C
player
site, kind of
standing.
disoriented right there.
You can't be serious, right? He gets two there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, check the
Spike
corner
planted.
first.
Now for poor old Fair, it's pretty much an impossible situation. How does he even do it? A 1v3, everyone has their positions, sky flashes are now coming on back, and onliner, he's at the off angle. Yep.
Holding the off angle, yeah. I mean, there wasn't really too much he could do there as a controller. The blind was available,
Switching
but
sides.
I mean, trying to peek off that by yourself is pretty difficult.
Yep.
And I would say a 9-3 half on Lotus, pretty good for Degrees right now.
They have confidence playing into the second half. The first round for them, though, will be a little bit more interesting, I do believe. Again, it looks to be a pretty heavy take towards C. Not really the A aggression that we were used to from a lot of other teams, but I understand why. Maybe the members of Degree, they have done their homework and they know what the members of Xentrix like to do. So a fast C take with the Race taking early control with the nade will just funnel everyone towards the A side where the Viper and the Killjoy have their setups ready.
Stun comes out just to take control of B main right here. The Molly is just gonna
Okay.
separate Gus
Whoop.
Chu and a misplay
there.
maybe. Not too much support. Maybe trying to run a fake, but that's not exactly how you want to run a fake. You want to use a bit more utility to make it a bit easier. Looks like it's just gonna be a meat grinder. I mean, Dragon finds one. That's the most important, but Ferret's maybe not understanding the
C.
read.
Last player standing.
Gets mowed down. Now it's a 1v2 of the Dragon with the classic. 65 HP, not terrible. I mean, can tank 3 body shots from Ghost. Ah, but you don't need body shots to just headshot him. Chewy saving that round.
Very solid take. Overall, I like the idea that Xentrix are going for early on, but Goshu, what was even the plan though? He ran into B by himself and he just slid in directly without any form of utility coming in from the breach even. Was he expecting the B side to be completely empty without any form of backup on that particular side? It was a little bit questionable, but looking at the side of Degree and the way they set up their defense, you can notice that the Killjoy turret was towards A, so they could get early information for rotations, and already the mid rush is coming in.
One enemy remaining.
Huge value out of that
Spike
Marshall.
down B.
But it's somehow 1v2.
It's just so
Dragon.
fast.
Yeah, armed with the Sheriff, this could be it, but doesn't expect Tao to be in the corner.
They're just running it down. They're just duplicating their way to victory. This defense looks more like an attack than the actual defense side coming in from Xentrix.
Yeah, very aggressive style, especially using the Marshall there. You can undercut a lot of the advantages of the attack if you're just able to post up a Marshall there. I mean, it's basically an op on the second round anyway, because most people don't play armor. And that does eliminate some of the weapon advantage, because they did force a little bit. Not able to get a spike on the first round, so their money's hurting a lot.
Take this.
Things are just getting even more impossible. pretty much an early level of control coming in from Ferrets, but he's gonna get spotted. There's so many players now slowly but surely hunting him down. Flash comes in, but they're not really trying to hunt him anymore. They took that early level of control, and this is what I was telling you about, Exia. Look at the control that they were going in for. They established presence, they scared them off. Because they have that Viper, they cut off the line of sight, knowing that, hey, maybe they're not going to go towards this A side. We can play a little bit further back, allowing us to go for much more faster rotations towards C or B, wherever it's needed. And if they want to re-hit the A side, they need to waste a lot more utility, wasting that before the entry. And this is where the problems will start to arise for the members of Xentrix. They don't have a lot of util to fight this. And this take is going to be a lot more weaker than expected.
And that flash is just going to confirm the suspicions already that there's a lot of players towards A. They want to take this door, but the smoke comes out pretty early, and this blind is going to be huge. Wow, finding amazing value. Paris is just not ready for it. Too focused on smoking. Augustu and Dragon walking out and finding their own. Now stabilizing the round, a 3v3. Just going to go exploring with this lurk. A huge kill from Gustu, but only on 1 HP now. Not able to kill the Sliver properly.
No, Joe.
But Sliver, he's good for it.
10 seconds left. Spike planted.
We have to miss, but unknown. If he finds the first shot, it could be good. But Dragon, the off angle's better for him, and with the crouch, he does make sure his head is safe. 4-11 and a pretty close round. Then again, the members of Degree, they lost this round purely because they didn't win out on their duels. But their read was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I like what they were doing. They just, you know, were patient. They didn't over-rotate. They didn't, you know, bite on any of that C aggression, and instead just said, you know what, we'll just hold here. We have a bit of a weaker buy. We're confident that you're still going to go A anyway because, you know, we haven't seen enough utility on C to warrant us to rotate. But now we're going to see that trademark Neon execute onto A side here. And this Viper wall is very dangerous, but one way you can sort of counter this is just by going through the door.
Pretty dangerous in that regard. Pretty much a very fast take towards the A side. The Killjoy lockdown now being placed to take full control over the A. But then again, look at towards the flank. There's so many people now coming in straight on the back. And this is going to be a pretty good pinch for the defenders.
Spike planted.
You see a bit more contention towards the CE side. Jung finds one, but Vinjin through the door finds two. No one gets a trade back, but Sliver in a very good position behind the wall.
One enemy remaining.
Chewy?
Vinjin alone. Oh, with the flash out.
Toxin screen down.
And yeah, that is exactly how a retake should be done here. Exit. Pincer coming in from two different sides. They waited. This is the primary difference coming in from the members of Xentrix and Degree. They wait for the retake and they take their time to set up their utility. They want to clear out their communication. They want to ask everyone, are you guys in position for the retake? 1, 2, 3, go. That is the timer that needs to be going through your head before you opt for a retake like this. One person takes the fight, and as soon as one fight is being taken, maybe towards the side of A lobby, the members towards A heaven are already jumping down. That's the thing. The momentary confusion is what the members of Xentrix were missing previously when it came down to their defensive side. They're doing it flawlessly. And if they want to break this, they need to fall into position a lot faster. Things are a little bit slow on the attack, and they're taking the control, but they need to be a lot more aggressive with it. They're giving too much space and too much respect to the members of Degree, and they're falling back because of it.
Yeah, now you're seeing how much respect they've been given, but also the fact that, you know, they've got the read. They've got 3 players already over on the side of A, and only Viper and Omen just kind of anchoring C and B. And not from risky positions either, just making sure that they can get some information.
Off your feet!
Smokes are going to be exchanged. Rolling Thunder coming in.
Bomb grenade out.
There's not a fast enough follow-up right now. Stone Dart is starting to wear off, and unknown.
Known.
Vinji's coming back. Oh, finds another.
Ended.
Jung just good for his own pick. Flash comes out. Fair size, but Sliver
Last
gets a
player
trade.
standing. 30 seconds left.
Now 1v2 online, and the only one left isn't able to find Dragon, and that is a lifeline for Xentrix right now.
Very much. That was a perfect play coming in from Dragon. 18 to 11 for this man. He is on fire. He's making sure to take his entire team on his back if he needs to make sure they still have a fighting chance for this map. Now, they still have a pretty good opportunity to turn things around. 6 to 12 and 6 rounds consecutively from here. It's going to be a tough ask, but then again, the members of Xentrix, they now have an understanding of how they want to play this defense. The members of Degree, they've already stated, we like to take the A side, but this fast take could just be where they fall if they're not careful. 4v4 on the side of it, it's coming in.
The first 2 picks already coming in for Xentrix right now. Not a lot of options for Degree. Climber kind of stuck in the smoke.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, isn't able to find anything. Yeah, Dragon already knows where Unknown is. Just needs to not give up this rifle here. Gets the shell. Yeah, I mean, that's a good flawless if ever.
Yep. Pretty much a flawless. I don't think any of them took any damage.
Yeah, that was really flawless right there.
Pretty good. 6 to 12. They won out on the eco. Now where the buy round comes in is where the real troubles will start to arise.
Exactly. And this is going to be the hard round. I think this or the next one are going to be extremely difficult and must wins. I mean, obviously it's a must win if they want to continue playing the game, but I mean, just look at the ultimates right now. Chewy has the Viper's Pit. Unknown is 1 away from lockdown. And Jung is 2 away from Seekers.
Oh no. We're doing this again, aren't we?
Another brawl on A. Paranoia comes out to flash the dog. Find as much value as he wants. Jung kind of stuck in no man's land right now. Super low just from the spam.
Here.
Dragon is trying to find a bit of a lurk on C as the action dies down.
It's pretty slow, and Chewy is looking to use the Viper Split to maybe take that early level of A control, but he wants to see if any more utility is being used first before he wants to pop this. Sky Flash, maybe a Breed Stun, something that would give them an idea of, hey, they're still wanting to come towards A. This is when I should pop the Viper's ultimate. And that is the level of discipline that not many Vipers have. The read's already going in that the A site's not being taken over. But Degree, yep, the flash is going to come in. No one's there. This is where the rotations are coming in, but maybe the rotations are a little bit too little too late. The Killjoy all by himself towards the C side. This does not bode that well.
Young is only just now starting to rotate, but the molly's not far enough. One person is there to counter side. Dragon finds his counterpart.
30 seconds
And the
left.
wall just comes at the block waterfall.
This is perfect.
I don't think How even realizes there's a wall there. He's not spamming it. Oh, now he's gonna shoot it, but it's a bit late right now. And look at Xentrix taking a page out of Degree's playbook, just pushing CT, taking the space. Now Degree's just pondering their options, deciding to save. Already looking unwinnable, and this might be another flawless round from Xentrix.
It's pretty smart too. Opting for the save here will allow them to carry forward those 3 guns and have a little bit more of a stronger buy in the following roundup. But my god, the members of Xentrix, they got a beautiful read here. Another close to flawless when you think about it, right? A lot of their members just were able to run into the site, and the level of patience and discipline coming in from Degree, it's pretty good. It's smart. I understand what you were trying to employ, but maybe when you have that Viper Spit ready, you could use it a little bit earlier and maybe just place down the Viper Spit and run away.
Yeah, a reactive Viper's Pit is a bit, I mean, unless you have solid information to really, you know, play off of it, a reactive Viper's Pit is too slow. By the time the smoke already blooms out, attackers are already in, and who knows, you might just get a straight headshot just based on the position of where the cloud is coming up. Now Xentrix are going to keep pushing A. This seems to be their strong suit. We've got a 3-man flank coming from C. Now Dragon in a world of hurt. He's able to turn the corner though, and the rest of his team flashes, dodge. Sage slow. Again, I mean, like I said, that just halts the aggression, and they're showing a lot of respect to it.
I kinda love that. That early C aggression and they immediately run away. That's perfect. doesn't matter if you didn't get a kill there. You showed your presence towards C, and you forced them to fight into. You now have an idea of, oh, hey, they were all waiting outside of A. Maybe they're gonna head back towards that side into the Viper's pit. They're hoping to find that early level of information, but the turret in towards B, not really the spot that you want to be in. Viper's pit finally comes in, and this reactive pit could just work out in their favor if they're able to find the proper read for it.
Oh, I think this pit maybe isn't the best. They're just kind of ignoring it. I mean, they're really exploring towards CT. Oh, ferrets. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Defender Killjoy lockdown coming in. Oh, it detains two.
There's a chance.
A very risky decision, but still a 2v1 for Pal. Now they should know where he's coming from. The sounds, the reload. And the wall, the op. Yeah, just holding that angle. I mean, I like what Xentrix is going for, though. That, you know, they weren't able to destroy the lockdown, but they were able to pick up a couple kills off the back of that, and that's all they needed, just to equalize the numbers and make it extremely difficult for Pau to come in.
Another thing I don't really understand is if you're playing a reactive Viper's Pit, right? Why don't you have a Killjoy turret towards A? You want that early information, right? That they're coming into A. I want you to use the Viper's Pit a little bit early so that you can get into a proper position. But instead, they had the turret towards B, which was a little bit more on the dicier side. I could understand what they were going in for, but when it came down to the execution, the members of Degree, they look a little bit like, how do you say that? They look like a fish out of water. They're trying to breathe for air, but they just can't. They need to slow things down, maybe take a pause or something, because they're losing rounds way too often. They're at 8-12. It was what? Originally a 12-5?
Yeah, 12-5 comeback. I mean, still 4 chances left, but I mean this round's gonna be difficult for Degrees right now. Only having a Marshal and 1 Spectre really. 50 seconds still left on the clock. Xentrix maybe giving a little bit too much respect now. They do actually have the option to pull back, but the Rolling Thunder comes out just to soften the side up. Grenade to delay, just one bit of chip damage there. Oh, bit of an overstep. Onliner with a good shot, gets another.
No, are you telling me they're gonna win this?
Situation is
Spike down A.
crazy. Vinjin does get
enemy
one.
remaining.
Now it's all up to Jung with the Marshal, but none of the players, I think, are low enough for a one-shot body shot.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, you don't need a one-shot, though, if you get the headshot. Now, Op versus Marshal and Dragon for the clutch. I mean, oh, talk about rough.
Dragon literally has balls of steel to do something like that. The man ran out when there was a sky flash coming into his face with an op. If he missed his shot, or if that sky flash popped, he was dead. He was guaranteed dead. No one could save him there.
Yeah, I don't even think pulling out your secondary would have helped much against the Marshal. I mean, if you get tagged once, all you have to do is just run out and just right-click, and you're probably going to kill the guy. Now, you're going to see that trademark Xentrix A push. A lot of utility coming out now. It's actually interesting because now the Sage is maintaining this role of almost being like a pseudo-initiator. Giving that extra utility to just push onto A and making it safer for the team.
This team is just taking a turn.
Dragon pushing forward with the operator. Lockdown comes in to clear the side out. As much stall as they have, this is going to be very difficult unless they find the first 2 picks, which Jung does. Dugout isn't clear. Ferret's aware though. Now only 2 players coming from CT. 1 from the flank. Now they're on dugout though. Flash just barely misses, and Dragon knows where 1 is. Misses the shot.
Good jiggle.
Just barely. And Vinjin holding down the round.
One enemy remaining.
Finds another. That's a huge kill. An unknown in a 1v2 situation, having to clear the box. Vinjin for 3. Just carrying the round on his back. I mean, if he lost any of those fights, Dragon was in for a world of hurt because he only had an operator to really work off, you know, super tight angles.
Yep. Close to impossible for Vinjin to survive this kind of a pincer, but What I don't understand is why did Pow up to go for such an aggressive play without Unknown being close to him? Unknown should have tried to maybe go in for a little bit more of a wrap and then take the aggro away from Vinjin before Pal opted to go in for a peek. What is happening to Degree? They looked so methodical and smarter when it came down to a lot of their gunfights, when it came down to the initial bouts, but now they're just taking duels just for the sake of it. They need to mentally reset. And I think just having such a big loss streak under their belt is what's really causing this. They're making mistakes here, very common mistakes here, Exia.
Yeah. And you can see they're really just preparing for the next round because this round they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of guns. They do have a showstopper, but likely they're saving it for next round
Destroyed.
when they have a bit of a better chance. Now, I'd really like to see Xentrix actually just, you know, threaten to go B and steer some of these players out of the A side. It looks like they're just confident enough to just go for it. Oh, they're going for a really aggressive stairs push, and that grenade is going to separate the two. And Vinjin loses his life. And now a pivot to the B side. This could be what they need.
It's a huge
30
kill
seconds
too.
left.
Still the bodies are
Kind
dropping.
of makes a misread. Thought they were going C instead.
Careful.
It's a 3 for 4 though, so still very much an opportunity,
Look
but
at Gus Chu.
Ferret?
Oh, they kind of just missed each other right there.
oh, this is bad. This has gone from bad to worse. Ferret,
Oh.
the trigger discipline. Please don't do a 2-ease.
Please, nice. That's the kill you needed. But does he know there's a chunk right next to him? Oh, but it's so labor. John, the only one. With the rifle in hand, can he save the round? Classic.
Oh my
Classic.
God.
No, Vinjin with the jumping charge. What was this round?
Nail biter of a moment right there. From the 2-ease coming down to that absolute god tier aim from Jong. What just happened there? This could have gone either way. Jong, you're an absolute maniac.
Yeah,
And
with
then
the
Ferret.
think classic at that range, that could have been a triple dink if it was just like a meter farther, but oh man. I mean, Vinjin's just good for those kills though. I mean, wow, picking up the judge.
Man just knew it was a do or die situation. He was the judge, he was the jury, and the executioner.
No, that was a sky flash actually, but showstopper was used last round, so I mean, what have you got, Degrees? What have you got? Oh, they're so passive though. Two of them towards CT, one towards the stairs. Nothing on site. They're just giving so much respect to Xentrix at this point. But then again, you see Vinjin with the Rolling Thunder active again. That's like 3 or 4 times this half. They're getting mentally ready for it. How? Kind of wasting the smoke.
Respecting the turret, but
Your Wombot's gonna be right here. Now
Line up.
Dragon's just gonna hold him with the operator. Oh, he's into the smoke. Flash goes out, but he's not sure. He's so paranoid. He sees the gun barrel. Oh, but Dragon still finds him. A pivotal kill. And now Sound. You know, one
30
person's gotta
seconds
be on
left.
site. But the spike hasn't even been planted. Claire's Degree.
Spike down
Finding
A.
2. This is such a dangerous position now. 15 seconds with 3 still left on the side of Degree. Flash misses
player
everything.
standing.
Oh,
Defenders win.
Degree just barely managing to claw that round away.
and that round was just purely based upon one particular thing. The pacing, Xentrix. They got a little bit too hungry for the round. They could have slowed things down, went in for a mental reset, even backed off from the A side before they opted to go in for a plan. They went in too deep. One player pushed into dugout.
Yeah, and the spike wasn't even planted.
Yeah, exactly.
There
You
was
don't
no
push
time
dugout
pressure.
until then.
I mean, that's got to be heartbreak for Xentrix right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the rounds, that's a longer win streak than what Degree had at the first half. I think Degree won 6 in a row, but Xentrix won 7.
Yep.
7 in a row just to lose that last round because of one misplay. And that's why it's always so dangerous, like giving your opponent's match point. I mean, one little mistake can cost you the entire map, even though you've had such a great half.
You really just needed to play things a lot more slower, but members of Xentrix, they pulled off a miracle, nearly pulled off a miracle. That was a Cinderella run and a half for them. But for Degree, a lot of mistakes. It seems as though Degree is one of those teams that really thrives off of momentum. If they have momentum, they're going to be able to snowball it out of control, and there is nothing that you can do to try and stop them until you are able to win a round, and then it slowly starts to build up. The anger, the frustration, the reliance on much more of your individual plays instead of the team play really was showing when it came down to Degree's play style. They were not looking as the same team as they did at the very beginning of the map. And as we're going to jump into Haven, I'm really hoping that Degree are able to iron things out. And for Xentrix, just a mental rebound. You played phenomenally when it came down to that second half. You made a comeback happen. Just tone down your aggression, keep things a little bit slower, and I think you're going to be able to take the map of Haven and send us into map number 3.
Exactly. I mean, if I were Xentrix, I'd be feeling good after that. Even if you did lose the map to a very close margin, it's like you made an amazing comeback, and that just shows that the resilience is there and the depth is there. You just need to maybe take some time to readjust in the beginning of the game and make sure you don't give up too many rounds earlier on. Because I mean, if they didn't lose 2 rounds in that first half, this would have been their game.
Yep, that's true. That was a good opportunity for it at the end of the day, too. But I do think that we're going to be heading on down over into a short little break, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more action on the map of Haven.
For the sake of love, I've been trying to reveal it, what I've been so afraid of. Your coldness makes my heart go weak, so numb that I can barely speak. This pain keeps water in the sea. If I weren't so desperate to be free, I'd keep my distance, babe. The more that I know about you, the more that I want you, baby. They say that good love will yield the best from me. I know it to be true. This moment won't last forever. No remedies whatsoever. These feelings we choose to pass on for lesser love. You know it to be true. I'm lost in a manic dream. It weighs on me endlessly. Your tenderness drifts in the wind. The depth of your love is a sin. I'll keep my distance, babe. It's all by design, blinded in the fog of love. Why don't you tell me, baby? What are you dreaming of? Dreaming of? The more that I know.
All right, welcome back everyone to the NiQ Comeback Cup. Currently, we are seeing Team Xentrix Esports versus Degree Esports. And Xentrix, they've got their backs against the wall, already one map down. and staring down the barrel of a 2-0 on their opponent's map pick. They've got to really dig deep here in order to make a comeback.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for them too, because for Degree, that was what you how do you put it? It was mm,
Like a
what's the
sigh of
exact word?
relief, right? You know,
Yeah,
that
it's a
last
sigh of
round.
relief, and there's another word. It's like a reality check. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was trying to find. It's a reality check that, hey, even if we have a 7-round lead, it doesn't mean we can relax up against a team like this. Because good God, were the members of Xentrix incredible when it came down to the last couple of moments. They were coming in clutch no matter what happened to them. And the team, if they're able to play like this, they're going to be happy. They're going to be able to move forward into the second map by patting themselves on the back, being like, we could have won that if we just didn't make a mistake. They're able to calm things down, be in a lighter mood, and take the map of Haven slowly and be a lot more steady in their approach. But looking at their compositions, what is this? No Sova on either team?
I mean, I
Am I
could
in a
maybe
dream?
understand a Fade and Raze combo, but a solo Fade with a Jet? That's very unconventional.
Something that I've never seen even.
Yeah, and I mean, Xentrix is opting for a Sky on top of a Breach. Usually you would see Sky as like a solo initiator on this map. A little bit redundant with the Breach, but one thing I'd like to mention is as a controller main myself, I know the head-to-head of Astra and Omen is really debated on this map, and Omen does offer a little bit of extra utility in terms of just, you know, using the paranoia to blind people, especially through walls, but statistically speaking, I mean, if you look at all the fights between Astra and Omen, Astra typically wins out. And so you might see a bit of an advantage there. Just really the only wild card we might have to wait for is the Fade versus Sky.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't understand what the Fade is trying to fill in. Because think of it like this here, Exa. The Fade is normally picked up as a complement to another initiator because Fade is kind of like a mini version of Sova. If you want a second Sova, that's when you pick a Fade. There's no other reason you normally pick a Fade, especially after all the nerfs she's had over time. A
Yeah,
solo Fade on a map of this scale, there has to be a lot of nutty lineups coming in from this Fade. Otherwise, I don't see it giving a lot of value.
yeah. I mean, it says a lot when Fade is mostly used for the C's on this map, on defense in particular, and not really for the Prowlers or the Haunt. So we'll just have to see, though. I mean, right now, attack is probably where Fade is still generally the most comfortable. You have those Prowlers to clear out the space.
Shu,
On creating a bit of a crossfire situation, but Shu does
could
find the
really
first
got
pick.
through.
Degree is just slowing it down. Complete silence after that initial fight. Really worried because, I mean, Gus Chu is posted up on such a close angle. You know, they might have another person ready for them. Now, Jung is just kind of solo facing it out of B here, which is the classic in
Placing
hand.
swarm grenade.
Molly goes out just to maybe keep a few players in. Dragon, only 2 HP, 3 HP, sorry. Able to find one. That's huge.
Last
Now
player
Pal
standing.
with another. A Chewy to follow up.
30
Now
seconds
1v3,
left.
all on the side of Sliver.
Spike planted.
CT and now looking very unwinnable.
Not really a
Damage
situation on the
exchange.
field, too.
Yeah, I mean, with the frenzy at this range, Degree playing it super safe. And the one way to boot.
Yeah, this man's just stuck.
Yeah, and on
Yeah,
that
last
level of
page,
HP, you're getting spammed down even on pistol.
And that smoke is just atrocious as well. It's almost impossible. How do you even defuse that if a smoke like that is placed on top? You can't
Yeah.
even fake. If you fake, you're still dead.
I mean, even with the jet smoke, functionally it makes no difference, right? Because you're not going to be able to see anything anyway. You just got to have, you know, absolute guts to just stick it. And even then, I mean, it's pretty easy to spam that angle anyway. just gonna see a bit of early aggression onto mid. I actually like this a lot, especially on the round after the pistol. But Sliver should expect somebody to be here. Shots exchanged.
One enemy
Absolute
remaining.
massacre by Degrees.
They
Yes,
have-
maybe just trying to find one. Takes the time, but only manages to get a little bit of damage.
He's kind of making me question if this Fade pickup was a wrong play or not. Fade with the-
Hello, Jung picking up an operator on round 3?
What? Wait, what?
Surely not, right? Surely not. On half armor?
End of the attacking side? Since when?
Surely not, right? Please don't give it back over to him. You've seen how Dragon is with the operator.
I mean,
Oh, but
Hakuna Matata?
Ferrets. It's kind of the operator holding down the angle. Oh, and Jung managed to find the first pick. That's the smokes down. But
The A
no
side pretty much
response.
looks free.
Yeah, no response from Xentrix. Really, yeah, just a flash to confirm something.
Look at Dragon's positioning though. He's so far in that he's gonna be able to get all the information that he wants to here.
I
Dragon.
think that turret will see him though if he decides to flank over. Oh, but the utility combo. But Gus Chu
down
and Sliver
A.
manages to find 3.
One enemy remaining.
Huge Gus Chu going absolutely insane with the 4K and the jumping classic.
Is this the same guy that we witnessed from map number 1? Because I think he just had a complete 180 Gus Chu. He is absolutely fearless. Originally on the neon, now on the sky. The guy has now fully activated himself. Shots are crispy. His movement is absolutely beautiful, and he's able to stabilize for his team so gorgeously on this site. On A, he held the defenders down for a solid 15 seconds before he finally peeked out with his other buddies already in the site.
Yeah,
That is-
and I mean the utility combination was just so perfect. I mean he couldn't do anything for the first like 5 seconds of that interaction.
Yep.
Now information exchange Sliver in a forward position. It's a bit of a risky dog spot. I mean he could just peek you and kill you right there.
Scout destroyed.
But they're not taking this space just yet. Not pushing forward
Yeah.
too much, and a Prowler does come out. No value, really. Just confirming that they're not in the close corner, and Degrees regrouping for a C hit. All up
Concealment.
the Ferrets, but I mean, there's so much utility to clear him out. Even just one Killjoy Molly could do so much damage. He's holding an angle, sees him. Oh, gets one. Bit of a risky peek in my opinion, and Onliner on top of the box. Isn't able to find anything through his own teammate's smoke. Seekers will just confirm that there's a lot of people on site, but Vinjin getting a forward position here.
Okay. Absolutely fearless Gus Take so like how do you even take these fights? This guy is just on a completely different level right now for map number 2. He's now ready to bring the team on his back if he needs to, but Unknown has the smoke to play around with an Onliner. What was that setup? You saw those clockbursts, right? Perfect
I mean-
one-ways for him to peek into, and also his teammate.
I mean, both of them were using those aggressive one-ways to just help take that space and keep control of it. I'm liking what I'm seeing, actually. Normally, you would just see Jets saving that smoke for themselves and being very selfish with it to get themselves out. But using that smoke to just, you know, help the teammate, saying, okay, you don't have to worry about the left side, you just hold the right side. That's the teamwork you want to see. Now we're going to see what looks to be triple face out of the fast hit. Sliver with only a frenzy to his name. Both Prowlers manages to find a kill. Huge value, but oh no, Miner to his own. Miner.
Player
Oh,
standing.
Gashu isn't able to control the Stinger recoil.
Plant the spike.
Now 1v3 for Dragon.
Spike planted.
Maybe looking to just take one rifle out of the hands of Degrees. Or a save could be possible as well, but he looks like he's going for it. Oh, but the turret spots him out. Now the situation looking a bit more dangerous. It's not too much risk, actually. Degrees does have the rolling thunder. They really need to invest, and Onliner's just gonna ego peek that and kill Dragon.
What's it for?
I will say, however, looking a little bit better than the previous map where they went down 0-6.
Sure. You can see that the members of Xentrix already have a good read and they know what they really want to do. They look more connected as a squad, but the thing is, only one player is shot. They can't have that. They need to start taking duels and taking trades a lot more often. And the thing is, trades won't really happen unless you have a good understanding of where your teammates are positioned. And it seems to be another op in the hands of Sliver, looking to be a little bit more aggressive on his own regard. Looking at the push, Gosu.
Yeah, 5-man push down A-long here. Leaving short a little bit breezy. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. They do have a lot of this control, but Gustu is just really pushed up. Easily able to find a pick if they decide to commit.
I don't like the odds of this. A full A take going on top into an operator and a possible Gustu on a flank. Not really that's what that you want to be in, but perfect utility utilization coming in from the members of Degree. But
Jung is aware. Turret goes out. But they don't see anything. This might be a bit of a bait here, actually.
Bomb grenade out.
Completely agree, but yeah, Online is just ready. He knew there is no way the
so
jet was blocked
aware.
here. Of course, the jet wouldn't be alone. He has to have his trusty initiator on his side. That just gave everything away.
I think
Yeah,
that's
this is a
actually
save.
going to be a point of contention later on if they get to the other half. Is just that one thing I want to point out is Sky is playing on A short, where the information just isn't as readily available. I mean, what are you gonna flash? If you're gonna flash, you have to flash for a fight. Flashing for information isn't that useful, especially because you can already kind of just jump peek from A-long anyway. And you can see what that did to Xentrix's macro. I mean, B main, grass, and C were all left really breezy. There's so much space left for the taking that they could have just crept up on if they had maybe a Sky to just confirm that nobody's there. But instead, Sky is holding down Sewer, trying to hide. And that's not where you want your Sky to be. It's leading to a lot of these openings that are just left untouched.
Another thing that the members of Xentrix just completely forgot about was the Rolling Thunder. I would have expected you to just go in for a read, know that, hey, a Rolling Thunder is possibly coming. I think we just need to start pushing A short. There's no way we can hold the site, right? If you try to hold the site against a Rolling Thunder, you are guaranteed to lose, and that's are slightly wrong on that regard. And Jung
finds
the
one.
frenzy?
Q on high ground here. Prowler is going to spot him out. Jet smoke does miss, and Ferrets is able to get that. That take there. Dragon realized there's someone on top. Oh, Gustu finds Pow.
Placing swarm grenade.
Now, Molly on the spike destroyed. Both Mollies destroyed. This could be the opportunity that they need. The Astro ultimate is available. But Ferrets is just going to hold it down. They weren't spamming it. Oh, and Ferrets manages to find Jung through the box. That's crucial. That would have been the operator.
Yeah, that's very rough too, because for them, they didn't have any weapon stock to go for a spam. An op on one and the Phantom on the other, he's not gonna have enough bullets, especially with the recent nerfs, to even go in for a proper spam.
Yeah, and I mean, both Mollies got destroyed. That
Post
looked like
plant
a better execute, actually. It's just the post plant was too difficult.
Yep. They sent too many people over from one particular side and they just got crunched. No pressure coming in from Garage that would have at least, you know, forced Dragon to look at Garage at the bare minimum. So he can't just casually swing out of the
Oh,
Dragon.
That smoke kind of protects Dragon here. Nerves of steel. Oh, and a huge flash, but he misses. Now full garage control. Ferrets isn't able to do anything to stop this flood onto the site. To make things worse, Chewy just holding a forward position on Garage.
Nice night.
Just a full another mental down coming in from the members of Xentrix. Ferret's good for 1 kill, but they need to save this off. There is no way they can even try to maybe go in for a retake here. Ferret's lurking to maybe find 2 or more kills to do some economic damage, but
Taking that
what
back.
kind of damage are you even trying to do? Looking at the bank,
mean,
looking at the scorecards,
Yeah,
they are
it's not
just
even
more
about
than
the
happy.
damage at this point, right?
Taking that
Yeah.
back.
It's just Xentrix really just have to be stringing these wins together. They can't just be picking up one at a time. They need to reset the economy. And if there's a round to win, it's gonna be this next one. I mean,
Yeah.
Breach almost has another Rolling Thunder. Lockdown's a bit far away, but you got the Nightfall ready to just kind of rock the site. So it's gonna be this round.
Hoping to see maybe a little bit more control towards A. I think they're playing A a little bit too passive. They're giving a
Yeah.
lot of space away, and that's what's really causing issues. If you want to play very systematic on towards the A side, I can understand that you want to play for a retake, but do you have util to play for a retake here? And what do the enemies have that can counteract your A side hold? They're not taking things into consideration. And that's what's really
Sliver.
befalling them.
Sliver isn't able to find the
Bomb grenade
timing
out.
there. But I mean, look at Degrees. Being very fortunate here. Now Ferret, I really don't like this positioning from Ferret's. Just a bit too risky, and half the time, you know, Ferret's is only going for like a ego peek and not even being able to put the smoke up to spam through.
Get
You
out
haven't
of
even
my
seen
way.
the wall come out just yet. And the XQ will start. A young bit of a aggressive push with the
Blocking
operator.
vision.
Now Ferret's completely blinded, isn't able to do anything. It's just isolated.
Face your fear. Spike
Oh,
planted.
Ferret's is just in the back outside with absolutely nothing out there. Sliver though, good for 1 kill, but unknown is already ready.
Online are kind of finding out here.
Oh.
Sliver is just taking them down one by
This is
one.
bad. Oh, he's gone.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, that is
Last player
unfortunate,
standing.
but a
Chewy?
1v1 against the Chewy. Now needs to make a play. But not a lot of time remaining. Sliver doesn't seem to expect it. No information
This
given.
is nothing.
Absolutely no steel needs to get this shot. Only one in the operator. And he's just running away. I think this is safe, is it? Is it? Just barely.
Chewy though played it to perfection. He didn't overly aggress at all. Plus, with the spike being planted for him, that was beautiful. Who in their right mind places a spike right next to bench? That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, and it looks like one of the players is currently disconnected. Might need to call for a tech pause here. And looks like we'll get one. A bit unfortunate, but even still, Degrees was just able to win that out. A Chewy played that pretty well, and I think Sliver in that moment just needed to reconsider, like, where is the spike planted? It's not planted for long. It's not planted for garage. It's planted for CT, kind of. And that was their plan, right? In case anyone came from the flank, they'd still be able to get eyes on the spike.
It was just completely an either-or situation. Sliver just didn't have the timer in his head. Because normally if a player is supposed to peek you, he will peek you from garage by that moment. He needed to switch to the other side, maybe go for a swing on towards CT, hope for the best. It just didn't pan out in the way that he would have expected. 2-7 though, regardless, the Chewy just played that clutch to perfection overall. For Sliver, he's praying to the operator gods at this point. Because
Yeah.
he needs to start showing up. Because this one op is pretty much the X factor for his squad.
I mean, ideally, you're sort of shopping the operator around the map. You want it to be unpredictable, and I know it seems like, you know, such a tempting idea to just, you know, keep posting it up on C long, just hoping that someone eventually comes. But if they're not coming into you, you got to go seek out those fights. And I'd like to see Sliver just bringing this up to like A long, holding down the lobby area, and just putting that pressure there. I don't think Degrees would be as confident in the way that they take the map if they knew that, yeah, hey, there's an operator here, and if we get pinched from short, we're gonna get flushed out. Instead, he's just kind of holding C passively.
This is where I'm really hoping that, as a pause has finally been taken involuntarily, of course, from the side of Degree, I want to see a little bit more of proactive play coming in from the members of Xentrix, because currently they're trying to play reactive here, and that reactive playstyle is just not doing them any good. Maybe a mid push to try and funnel people in towards A or C, or maybe an early aggressive play over towards C long where they take early C long control and then they're able to pincer people on towards the A side, or maybe just set the player on C up and then walk away, take the A side, play that a lot more stacked and heavy. They need to do something to have a read here. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work for them. I'm scratching my head trying to think of an idea of what Xentrix could use, but unless they start playing a lot more aggressively to control the pacing, there's not much more that they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the team is just a bit disjointed. At the beginning of the match, I mentioned how Astra statistically wins in these head-to-heads with Omen, and generally speaking, on the side of Xentrix, it feels like the agent utility and synergy just isn't quite there. I mean, Astra is one of those agents who really can anchor a site by herself. I mean, you got the gravity well, you got the pulse just to like stun people when they're coming in. I mean, the pulse is a great way to stop jets actually when they're trying to like dash up, because you can put it behind the smoke or slightly inside the smoke, which is where jets like to usually updraft and dash in from. And that just makes it extremely difficult because by the time the jet updrafts, they're gonna be stunned and they might even miss the dash. And the gravity well will help to sort of split off members of the opposing team. But even if you don't use it more for the site itself, you could still put it in more forward positions, like putting in the lobby, putting in grass, or putting it like way deep onto C so that you can recall it and walk forward with the operator, or even just walk forward in general. Because a lot of times you'll see expert controllers like Marv, they'll just walk down C long, absolute nerves of steel, and get amazing timings on teams that are still stuck towards A. But there just isn't any of that. C long is left completely unattended. Grass and garage are too passive, and B, I mean, yeah, it's a bit risky to push out of
It's the
out
middle
of gates at
child.
B.
Everyone just forgets about it.
Yeah, but it's something that you need to be taking into consideration more, which they have been, but only on their saves, which I think is a bit unfortunate. You want to see, having a good chance of doing that.
It seems as though they like to take B control only when they know an A hit is coming. And that's not really the play that you want. Why do you take B control primarily? Let's just talk about that. You take B control so that you can get that early information of where the rotations are going to be coming in. Are they going A?
Mhm.
Are they going C? Or if they're really rushing B, then that one player holding in B can call for backup. Everyone comes in through garage, through mid, and then you have a pincer to work around and the utility to try and take those dudes. None of that
Right.
is going to happen unless you take that B control. That's where people start to make that argument. Which side of the map do you really want to push? And we saw that previously on the map of Lotus, where the members of Xentrix, they love to go in for very aggressive pushes towards C, but they left the other sides completely unattended. Here, they are playing very passive. They're not even trying to take early levels of control, which is quite questionable because they have utility that allows them to take that map control, and they can also play reactive with it. But if the reactive playstyle is not working, just as you stated before, they need to try to take something here. And
Exactly.
hopefully after this pause, we can witness that. But for Degree, think of it like the way that they're playing this map. they have complete freedom. They don't have to use any utility to take any portion of the map. They're getting stuff for free.
Exactly. They're not finding that early level of contention that draws out some of the utility because they're not scared. They're not using a flash to hold off a push. They're just kind of stunned. We walk through, and it looks like the players are now ready. We're gonna get right into it.
Onliner is now back completely refreshed with a bottle of water probably on his side.
I mean, I heard it's
Blinded.
raining outside, so maybe different kind
Yeah.
of water. Oh, legs.
Okay.
Legs. That's not even a wallbang leg, is it? That's just legs. That's 120 HP gone. But it's
I'll be happy about that one.
pretty slow now. Then again, you do have to realize that Xentrix have 4 ultimates ready, so maybe a retake play on A
That's
is
smart.
not, it's not terrible, but
Flash out.
very little information coming out. They should know by now, though, that Pit's coming to A. I don't know where that molly went. You got
Spike
stuck on the
planted.
roof there.
Yeah.
Okay, now we see the Killjoy lockdown coming in. Now, without a Sova, you don't really have any way of really contesting this. You just gotta evacuate, but I would like
Jung?
to see... Oh, the Omen! Sticks the teleport!
Behind you.
And Ferrets didn't know because he was in astral form. But
Last
it's
player
only
standing.
If left and the Seeker confirms it. Okay, Gus you.
Cheers, mate.
He's a
Alrighty
man
then.
possessed. I'm telling you. What is this guy on? The way that he's taking fights and the way that he's taking duels is just absolutely incredible. Plus, they only use 2 ultimates to take this. They still have the Rolling Thunder to play around with.
Yeah, Rolling Thunder, the knives ready as well for an aggressive take.
That was a flawless defense.
Yeah, all that utility getting baited out.
Can I get this?
Maybe that's the plan, actually. It's just, well, if we can't, find a way to defend more aggressively, we'll just let him take the site. You can waste your utility. But the Rolling Thunder was the key, I think. They didn't use that just yet, which is another reason why you need to show a bit of aggression. Need to draw it out just a little bit earlier. Now Gusty with the flash, we're running straight into the operator. We gotta know this is happening. I mean, Jung's had the operator for quite some time now.
Placing swarm grenade.
Now Sliver's on Garage, trying to hold grass here.
The way that Chung even got that operator pickup was a really smart play. He pushed out a little bit too aggressively, knowing where the sky normally flashes. And that early bout of information could have been key for Gus Yu to not even go for that swing just yet. Chung already spotted out one of the other players, the Killjoy, pretty aggressive on his take at the B side now, right for the picking. The hits coming in. The
Caroline
side.
blinds.
Leave me there.
A lot of util coming out. Good execute. Site is free, however, for the most part.
Miss! No!
Off your feet.
Dragon's on a flank here. Rolling Thunder comes to deny. Xentrix
Last
trades
player
back and
standing.
forth. And a turret kills Dragon on the flank.
Last round in the half.
That's what you call a rough fight.
Yeah,
There's not really much to say. That was just a very disjointed retake coming in from the members of the defense. You know the breach Rolling Thunder was being used. You needed to be a lot more proactive in that play. Pretty much the same mistake that they made in the previous round when the A hit was coming in. They can't do stuff like this.
looks, however, that there's going to be a bit of a pace change. They flash down long, but I want to see them taking this space. Prowler clears that garage. That forces Dragon to be a bit more mindful. They'll know
Placing
that there's
swamp
a few
grenade.
people outside of grass. And the Molly just gets destroyed instantly. Breeze is just creeping up here. But the players on long are gonna run straight into Xentrix right here, and Dragon with
Spike
2. That's
down,
huge,
C.
and the spike. I mean, what a pivotal turn. Now, 3 members of Degree is just getting like stuck in no man's land here, and Grab
Look at the flank.
slowly being surrounded. I mean, they've got people already over there. Out. Vinicius was betrayed, but he died.
One enemy remaining.
The Sliver shooting it from the back.
I got the spike.
Now 1v2 for Onliner.
Blinded.
Oh, flash. I thought that would full flash actually, but Onliner's got a bit of a journey ahead of him.
30 seconds left.
He just run all the way to A if he wants to here. He has to
Yeah,
read that both players are over on the other side of the map, so for him, it's just about getting that plan down and sticking it for as long as possible. But I like the discipline coming in from the members of Xentrix that they're just holding outside of C, expecting
Spike
him to run
planted.
back towards C, but that wasn't really the play, and that wasn't really the plan for Onliner though. How does he want to read this? For Xentrix, sticking together is the primary option that they want to go in for, and it's a very slow approach coming in from A long. But they need to go in fast. They're wasting a little bit of time here, and you really don't want to fall into that crunch of 10 seconds, because that's where Onliner will really shine.
Yeah, and they haven't even cleared out Heaven yet, and it's planted for him. They've got to move now. It's too slow, too labored. One person has to 6. Sliver only
One enemy
tapping.
remaining.
I know it.
Okay, this is the dash. And I mean, Justin just doesn't have any options there. That just felt
Switching
like
sides.
things falling apart. I mean, when you're that low on time, you just gotta get to half, no matter what, even if you die on it.
That was bound to happen.
And
Especially
look
when
where
I
we
saw
are.
the Heaven plant.
Yeah.
It was guaranteed, because think of it this way. If you have if you have a player who's already on the last phases, you need to send someone early towards A, or just full send it and run towards A because of how far the sites are on the map of Haven. They wasted too much time trying to take it slow towards the side of A long, and they just got caught
Yeah.
out for it.
That is a full knife out, sprint it down, don't clear corners. Even if you die, who
Yeah.
cares? You need the time, right?
Exactly. You need to trade it. There's no way. You need to hit your shots if you want to survive a clutch like that, especially in a 1v2 up against the Jet. Chewy, okay. Looking to be a bit aggressive towards Garage. Not going to happen, but the C-side, completely now theirs.
This is exactly what they want. I mean, a bit of a misread, but it's going to be a double, maybe even a triple flank. Dragon unable to get one, I think. So, I mean, now you've got Xentrix pushing out to CT, getting that space, a bit of a team flash to delay. And the Aftershock to get someone off that close corner. Astrasuck is available, though. This could be
Bootstrap.
Placing alarm
do
bomb.
what you need. Yeah, holding on to it, I think.
Last player standing.
Okay.
Oh no,
Jordan.
Alastair died. Oh. I think that's a problem of, you know,
You gotta
site
pick
plant.
who
If you have
move
the site
Got
free
it?
and your, decision is to plant or to fight for CT, then you gotta plant on that left side so you have some access to it.
Yeah, I think they were not expecting a double-sided flank to come in onto the Killjoy. That's where they just got really scared, and they were like, oh, what do we do in this exact situation? There's no way we can take this fight, right? We need to push into CT, maybe take some garage control, but if we're gonna do something like that... They just had the wrong read, I would say. Xentrix, they just had an idea of what they wanted to go for. I could understand what they were trying to employ, but at the end of the day, that is not gonna work out in your favor whatsoever. Force-wise, though, it seems coming in from the attackers. They want to go in as deep as they possibly can. But
Stingers
Yeah,
and
destroy.
2 Spectres. So, I
this
mean,
force doesn't look that good.
on attack, after you got the spike down, it's not as bad. Like, this is doable, very doable. Oh, and I like this pivot. I really like this pivot. Drawing out so much utility on B. And just pivoting straight to A. This is exactly what
Bot
they
coming
want.
back.
They got the read too, because they know that the members of Degree, they love to play super aggressive on the flanks. And because of that read, they got the site for free.
Right
But
there.
the real question is, will they be able to pull off these post plans? They've been having so much trouble, even in map number 1.
There's only one person on the flank. No, but the smoke actually kind of saves him. Nice. Good kill from Vision. The round needs to get stabilized. Unknown.
Last player standing.
Okay, Chris come out. 2v1.
One enemy
Up
remaining.
to Unknown, and he gets it.
A dude with a classic free weapon, by the way.
Clutch.
Plenty of time to spare. I mean, I know how it feels, but 5 seconds is all you needed to win that round. And I think Guschu, on the other end of that, just needs to be a bit patient. He's the linchpin. He has... I mean, he's got the spike planted for him. It's not too difficult. But then Unknown just kind of turns around and whips out the classic. And things are just falling apart. An even worse buy now for Xentrix. This has to be it. No ultimates. Low economy.
Find you.
Finds one. But this aggressive push might be exactly what they want. Damage going out.
Pulling them in.
How he finds Ferrets here. Punishment.
Spike down. Attacker spawn. Last player standing.
Unable to find anything. I mean, I was about to say, this feels like such a familiar situation, a 9-3 half.
I'm having Vietnam flashbacks of the map of Lotus now.
Yeah, now an even more insurmountable miracle needing to happen if they want to even have a chance. I mean, even if they win 7 rounds in a row, you still got 2 more. And you got to win that last round, you know? It's like... It just feels like the mental has completely collapsed.
Well, we did say that last map as well, so there's a chance. You never really know. Xentrix is one of those teams that when their backs are against the wall, that's when they start kicking, but maybe the caster's curse is a little bit too strong for them to take over. Pal gets the first kill, and that is your smoke going down before the round even starts.
Yeah, not what you want at all. I mean, look where Ferrets died as well. This is not a peek into long angle, but Sliver down.
Go away!
Another
Spike
and an
down. Mid.
absolute destruction. Not even a trade back. Dragon in a 1v5. Only a single Vandal and a half shield.
My double's dead.
We'll find one, but now they know where he is. Oh, the pop-in swing.
Defenders win.
I mean, what can you say?
There's not much. It's just Degree just played that so much better. This was their map pickup and they felt very comfortable letting Pow, a controller, get this much free space, and he just pushed in. He didn't care. He was the actual duelist. All-liner wasn't even the duelist anymore at that point on the defensive side. Yeah. It was Pow leading the charge, constantly taking space, taking aggro, and he wanted to take over the entire map. And he wanted to bring it under their control. And this is what the members of Xentrix were missing. Where was this on their own attacking side? Sorry, where was this on their own defensive side? They just didn't do any of it.
Right. I mean, that's also another benefit you have of Fade, right? Every time, it felt like every time I was looking at Chewy, I mean, the Fade lineup was there to just get information outside of A Long. And it's just so much more security than, say, a Sky Flash where, you know, it pops and now you're not quite sure if they've already made it into short, if they're still in the lobby, if they're outside and they're holding from the benches or the steps. And it just kind of felt like a bit of a comp diff.
Yep. A lot more utility in comparison to the other, but on the other side of the spectrum, you have to give props to Degree to use their utility in proper conjunction. We were a little bit susceptible with the Fade because it's not that good on this map, but the way that Achui used it with Unknown is what really shown the Fade a lot more here, because Achui never used a single Fade Eye without maybe a breach stun or a breach flash being present. He always used it with conjunction with utility, so no one could break it. If they tried to break it, then they have to flick their crosshair up to a position where the people pushing into a certain angle would always be at the advantage. And stuff like these, the small things is what pushed Degree to such a insurmountable victory. 3-13 is not a place that you want to be in. And Xentrix, they just got completely outplayed, not only in the terms of composition, but when it came down to the micro and the macro as well. And for Xentrix, I was hoping for maybe a little bit more proactive play because their composition screams proactivity, and there was none of that.
Exactly. Especially, I mean, I mentioned this before during the tech pause, but I just didn't think the Astra was getting any value. I didn't see the wall ever, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
it, that's one of your most powerful pieces of utility to retake, just completely sectioning off attackers. And I mean, honestly, I thought the Astra would have been a perfect fit because if you look at Degree's team comp, they don't have as much post plant utility because they don't have a Sova shock dart, right? They only have Killjoy mollies. They have a breach aftershock, which most of the times they use it in the execute anyway. So their post plant utility just came down to 2 Molotovs, and we can see that the rounds where it did come down to the post plant utility, it worked perfectly because they just destroyed the mollies. Um, no Sova shock darts at all to really threaten anything,
Yep.
and because of that, it's just it felt like a fundamental battle of wits. You're just losing those fights. You're losing the map macro. There's no real adaptation that comes from having this more adaptable team, right? With the sky flashes, with Astra's global utility, on top of having the same core of Jet, Killjoy, and Breach.
And but, but with that, we're gonna be heading on down over into a break, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back with the real shortly with a possible interview.
For the sake of love, I've been trying to reveal it. What I've been so afraid of. Your coldness makes my heart go weak, so numb that I can barely speak. This pain keeps water in the sea. If I weren't so desperate to be free, I'd keep my distance, babe. The more that I know about you, the more that I want you, baby. They say that good love will yield the best from me. I know it to be true. This moment won't last forever. No remedies whatsoever. These feelings we choose to pass on for lesser love. You know it to be true. I'm lost in a manic dream. It weighs on me endlessly. Your tenderness drifts in the wind. The depth of your love is a sin. I'll keep my distance, babe. It's all by design, blinded in the fog of love. Why don't you tell me, baby? What are you dreaming of? Dreaming of? The more that I know about you, the more that I want you, baby. They say that good love will yield the best from me. I know it to be true. This moment won't last forever. No remedies whatsoever. These feelings we choose to pass on for lesser love. You know it to be true.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. We're back from our intermission, and well, just want to congratulate Team The Degree Esports here for winning the NiQ Comeback Cup for July. Just everybody give them a round of applause. They did a really nice job in that match against Xentrix Esports. Now, I'm actually joined by The Degree's onliner for a quick interview. So, onliner, you want to just say hi for a little bit?
Oh, hello. Thank you I mean, thank you for the tournament. And can I shout out first?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, shout out sa Gulong fans. Hello, guys. Shout out din sa girlfriend ko. I love you. Oh, yes, yes.
All right. Well, so for now, I'm the only caster, but I just want to clarify who's your IGL again,
Oh, our IGL
if you have
is,
one.
yeah, it's Pau Pau.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I'll just start from the beginning. Let's start from Lotus. You guys had a really impressive start to the match, going 6-0 up against Xentrix.
Yes.
But then, you know, at the half it was 9-3, and then you won the pistol, you won the buy. But then Xentrix just came back with a seven round win streak. How were you guys feeling during that sort of stretch of the game?
Oh, we feel a bit nervous, and it's a fight of the, like, I mean, patience, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, I
if you don't
noticed.
have, yeah.
Yeah. Like I noticed you guys were very like towards the end, you guys are showing a lot of respect to them. I mean, holding from like the stairs on A and CT. Um, I mean, did you guys feel like you needed to make a change to stop them, or did you just want to do what you always wanted to do? Because it seemed like you had to do a pretty big shift until that last round, where I think you guys got a big advantage.
Yes, we make a big change, like changing players and changing momentums. Like we can we can play like the same anymore, because
Hmm.
they always read us, and yeah, we we made
Did you guys ever feel
decisions.
like, did you guys ever feel panicked, or was it just like, okay, we're losing, but let's stay calm? What was the actual feeling?
Yeah, we always say let's reset, and we play like the same, but you know it's oh
Yeah,
it's very
it's
hard
difficult.
for us. Yeah, yeah, it's very hard for us. But we pulled it off like last round.
Yeah, I mean, the spike wasn't even planted, and I think you guys just got a really nice fight on the dugout area. When Neon kind of pushed there and you got that kill. I
Yeah,
just wanted to ask though, like on defense, you guys seem to on Lotus, you guys seem to have maybe a similar strategy to Xentrix actually, where you just kind of want to like take a bit of aggressive space, but then when it didn't work out, you resorted to just kind of retaking. Did you guys ever practice your executes for like retakes and stuff?
yes, yes. We practice like 2 weeks for our Lotus and other maps,
Oh, I
and
see.
yeah, we we always make. I mean, we always doing scrims every day like that.
Dang, a lot of
So
practice.
we yeah, a lot of practice.
What would you say are your guys' best maps then? Like maybe out of the seven right now.
Our best maps, I think it's Haven or Lotus.
Okay, so you
Right
guys are
now, right
prepared for
now.
both
Yeah.
maps.
Yeah, we
uh,
prepared.
nice. And your Haven just looked, I mean, dominant. One thing I was interested in though was you guys picked Fade instead of Sova, but you didn't have a raise to combo. Is there maybe a
Yeah.
reason for that?
We always change our roles and agents to make us comfy with our agents.
I see.
I mean,
But
yeah,
like,
like our gameplay.
uh-huh. But like it was like a fade over the Sova. I mean, your fade had a lot of impact, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, typically you see a lot of Sovas on the map. Did you have maybe a reason for that, or just more of a comfortable pick in general?
Yeah, it's
Hello?
a more comfortable pick
Oh,
in general.
is that
Yeah,
Joe?
I
Yeah,
think I can answer that question.
go go
Sure,
go.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think we changed fade because uh its prowler is much easier to clear, you know? Like
Hmm.
when compared to Sova, he needs to stop and then let his drone do the clearing while his prowler is, he can just click and then go in with the team.
Right, right. And I was seeing a lot of the lineup potential with the haunts as well. That's very well practiced. And typically, if you run fade, it's mostly for the prowlers, right? Like you said.
Yes,
But yeah, I
prowlers
was just
and
mhm,
yeah, prowlers and lineups, of course.
prowlers and lineups, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to see that game. Very, very dominant. I like what you guys are doing most of the time. And well, I mean, again, congratulations. It was a hard fought victory. You guys came through the upper bracket and well, showed everybody who's boss, right? So we're glad to have you. Thank you so much for participating in the NIQ Comeback Cup, and we hope to see you again.
Yes, thank you for the
Thank
tournament.
you.
It's
Thank
our
you.
first tournament champion, by the way.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's even better then.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
We're just
As
new
a
team.
yeah, as a team,
Yeah,
we
new
just
team.
started 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah, we
Oh,
just started.
well, I mean, all the best in the future. Then I hope you guys have a lot more success. Once again, thank you, and we're just gonna close out the stream for now. Have a great day,
yeah,
everyone.
thank you also.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank you,
boys.
thank
Thank
you, thank you.
you.